Hey guys, it's nice to see you again. Welcome back to Cities Skylines to Montegue Bay. If you remember from last time, we worked a lot on services and urbanization of the city. Today, I really hope we can afford the expenses of a cemetery because we do need to take care of death care in the city. So let's get straight into it. So if you remember from last time, this was our big kind of design, these new urban areas, as we did unlock offices in high density residential. So we obviously have to incorporate those now into our city as they are becoming more important to our citizens. Something I was first of thinking is adding some small businesses here on the coastline right here, just to combat some of our customer need situation. And we also probably are going to need a couple more parking lots eventually, so I should plan on those as well. I think it would be definitely a good idea to have one right across from the police station, because let's face it, that makes logical sense in the reality of just the game in general, and also makes sense when you think about it in real life too, just having this nice little parking area right next to it. So I am going to alternate a little bit on this pattern because I have an idea on how I might want to do it. I'm going to make sure I can use some of the American modern, like the American mid-rise apartments. There we go. Just nice little parking lot to help combat some of this demand. Now we are getting more people wanting to move into those high density buildings, so we are going to have to figure that out eventually. But I'm not sure when that will happen because, like I said, I have a lot that we need to figure out before we can fully approach some of these ideas. See, adds a little bit of uniqueness, like having more beachfront property, and something I really hope we eventually get is I hope we get... Now, we do have these surfaces that we can work with. However, I would appreciate more if the game can give us like a spray paint tool, kind of like The Sims, where you can spray paint on things. Just because I feel like it would add a little more better detail on making beaches, and I really would love to hopefully see in the future that beaches do get added, because that's something that was highly requested in the first game, and I really would think that's something all of us together would enjoy. So for this main 3-lane road I currently have, what's going to happen is I'm going to add a divider at a point, because specifically I don't want to deal with the situation of people making U-turns all the time. That's why I feel like it'd be great in the game if we could have some basic traffic laws that we can add to roads, such as no parking in the street, no U-turns, don't turn on left, things like that. Just to make it a little easier. We go add a little roundabout just to help with, because there's gonna be a lot, knowing this is going to be a downtown area, there's going to be a lot of traffic. People are gonna be going from point A to point B, and we're gonna need to make sure we maximize everything we can to ensure that traffic flow remains relatively high. There we go. Those are a bunch of one-ways. I wanted to see if we could potentially use those to help with the area. Now, the next thing I do want to add is, because we have a bunch of empty area, I think what would help is some alleyways, some just small, not very dense, secret paths behind some of these buildings. And obviously, something I do with these alleyways... Ooh, that's a bad spot to have that connect. I don't want to have the alleyway connect here, because then that's going to be very busy. We're going to have a horrendously busy intersection. So I think it's best if we do something like that to maximize the space. Okay, now for this area over here, I think we should probably add... I don't want to add too many more roads to this one because it's kind of splitting off. So let's see what we can do. There, I thought that might be a good example. And then we can easily add one of these alleyways, or actually... Yeah, so that will be good. And then we need some way for people to be able to get to this side of the street. So I think we can easily add a small path. Okay, schools are full. So I could get to this small European elementary school. The only issue is it doesn't look very... I want to make sure I have something that's a little more urban, because, this is a downtown area. So this Northeastern America school would be perfect for that. But I think what's more important is people are asking for entertainment recently. So before we can focus on taking care of the whole death care issue, I think it's important that we provide people with entertainment. This place has quite a few entertainment value things. Let's see if we can find a good spot for it. I think I might want a smaller one, specifically because this area is so hilly. So if we get something big, it's going to look weird. It's a little park for the kiddos. Just hopefully they don't climb this. Oh my, that's a very dangerously tall. Oh my. Let's put that somewhere a little safer for the kids. That's better. Okay. Man, death care is really becoming an issue. Let's see here. How much money are we making right now? We're making 30,000. That's good. That's a good sign. And we need at least 27,000 a month to afford the cemetery. So we're kind of fluctuating around that area. So let's get a few more residents, and then we can add that.
This is an emergency
Uh-oh.
broadcast to all citizens.
Where is it?
Radar readings indicate
Oh, that's far away.
and will be visible soon. Citizens should seek immediate cover.
I was about to say, like, I immediately get the emergency broadcast for a tornado. Now, something I do want to see is, so we have mixed zoning in the game, and mostly it's commercial and residential. So I really want to see mixed zoning that's office and residential, because I feel like it'd be cool to have both options, at least in my mind. Okay, I think we should put some offices out here, just so people, like, have a nearby workplace they can go to. Then we should also probably add some sort of parking in this area. I think we're gonna have to use like a legit it's $40,000 a month just for a parking building. Wow, that's a lot. Like, everybody's wanting more industry. Let's hear. How are we doing on finances? Okay, I think we're in the safe zone where we could possibly get a cemetery, and that'd be great. I just need to find a nice flat area to put it, because, or at least an area that's like smooth terrain, just so I don't have to worry about the whole thing of it looking weird. There's a flat spot right there. This one's a little hilly, but I have an idea on how to make it work. I want to bring out a road. I want to have some extra space around the cemetery, specifically for that we can have room to add on additions, because obviously we have like mausoleums and temples and other things that are going to be important to have, because, you know, we need more space for stuff like that. I'm gonna try and see if maybe I can follow the hill just a little bit to like help make a little bit of a unique design to this small residential area, because they're gonna be living out by the dump, so I'm really kind of worried that they're gonna be like, ew, like it's gonna smell bad. Like, it'll be a small residential area. I'm just happy we finally have the cemetery, so now people will stop complaining. Here we go, another shortcut for residents. I'm trying to avoid, so something I do is when it comes to 3-lane roads, I try to avoid as many 2-lane or 1-lane roads as much as possible, because of the sole factor that they could clog up traffic, because I kind of use it like as a highway, like it takes people from one point to another. Something we do need to think about though is the school is full. We need more room for the students, and it costs only $1,000 per month, so it's not crazy. So we're gonna go ahead and get 2 extensions onto the building to help combat the student issue. I was thinking about adding a nice little like flower garden right here. Just like have the citizens something nice. Have citizens give them something nice to look at. See, like, that's good for expansion purposes. Has some more space, working with the students. It's already full. Eventually I will start making some districts and start saying you will only work in this neighborhood. Because I kind of want the urban area to have like its own kind of school system going on. Parking, street parking I don't really want. Speed bumps I will include. Wait, does that include the main one? I do want a recycling initiative. That's important to me.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin.
Storm spotters have reported a tornado currently heading towards the city.
Okay.
Extreme wind conditions are expected.
A lot of tornadoes recently. Good news, that one's pretty far outside of town, so it'll be shocking if it makes it to the city and causes damage. Okay, traffic's starting to become an issue, so I do think next thing we want to get is we do want to officially add a taxi depot. I feel like that's going to be very important once we get a little more cash and be able to afford that. Hi! Ironically, the city's got its first ever hotels moving in. Problem is, there's not much of a demand because we don't have anything unique and we're not really attracting anybody right now, but who knows? Maybe that will be a thing that the city will start working on. We'll start getting some more people to want to visit the city. We are officially a boom town. We've unlocked some new signature buildings. Alright, let's see here. So, we got schools, so I'm not too really worried about that. Welfare office, we took care of. Emergency shelter, which we have. Let's get park maintenance so we can have some bigger parks and some sports parks. I do think parks are very important for the city right now. And what else can we do potentially to help us out? Let's go ahead and grab a college. That way we can start educating students at a higher level once we get to that point. Oh, maybe it's like, I think it's supposed to be like Sim City, like, because right here I have a leisure business which does attract people. So maybe they're like, oh, so this is prime real estate to build a hotel. I'm like, that makes much more sense. I needed that explained.
This is an emergency broadcast to all citizens.
Radar readings indicate a tornado is approaching the city and will be visible soon. Citizens should seek immediate cover.
All right, we got another tornado. Wow. Was that like what, the third tornado this episode? It's kind of funny because the game used to be like, there's a tornado, whatevs, because it never told you, and now it's like, hey, there's a tornado. Like, I feel like something that needs to change is I think the game needs to, oh my gosh, sorry about my red wrist, I was resting on my table. What I was saying is that I really think there needs to be like Cities Skylines 1, where it was, if it's within city limits, meaning the area you're working with, then it will be like, hey, it's like really close, like you need to take precautionary measures. All right, now we got a hailstorm approaching. Disaster after disaster. At some point, I'm probably gonna have to start considering getting citizens more safety procedure. Holy cow, we're making $200,000. I don't know what I did to do that, but I'm ready for my taxi service. Let's go ahead and get that. Ooh, there's like a perfect spot for it. Okay. Now, we need some taxi stops. Actually, let's see how big the stuff is, so that way, if I want to... Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. There. We can always fill in the space with what we need after we expand the cemetery. Now, the good part is I can officially move the cemetery a little more to the middle. Let's start planning an inner city school. So how big is... So we can go with this one. It's only $17,500 per month compared to the $5,000 per month, but it's an inner city, so it's a lot more modern, fits with the architecture. There's this one, which this one has less capacity, but it has more recreation, outdoor recreation. So people would be happier if we had this because it covers two things. So the hard part is figuring out the perfect space for that, because I want to make sure we do have some parking nearby because it is a school. Kids here. Let's see how big this thing is. All right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares. Okay. Then we're gonna extend the road a little bit this way so we can have like a little parking lot. We can get one extension on it, and it's simple. It's just a classroom extension. Now for the parking lot, I want to make sure we have one available, ready for students. But hopefully that makes citizens a little more happy because they're now having, okay, unreliable mail service is now the issue, that and unreliable healthcare coverage. So our next thing is the post office. That should be our next big goal to get for the city. So how much would that cost us? Because we're not going to get the big one. We're going to get a small one. $7,500 per month. We can't, wow, we actually can't afford that right now. Ooh, here's a main road it can kind of like exit on. There we go. And we'll go ahead and make sure mailboxes are available to those who can't reach the post office. Put that right at the street corner. I think that's a nice spot for it. Easy access for all these small houses. And the good news is it's also going to potentially increase the amount of residents who want to move to the city, specifically those who are in smaller homes. At least that's what I believe. Because it seems like education is the number one thing that encourages those kinds of families to move in, because they're like, if there's schools available, we are mostly a family, like, because it makes sense. Families want places with good schools, specifically elementary and high schools. Then adults are obviously more want community college, university, like that's stuff we also need to think about. Pretty solid. And we already got buildings upgrading, I can see. Ooh, we got unlocked the gymnasium. Too bad it's too big. So what is it? It helps with outdoor recreation and citizen well-being. Well, maybe I should take a look at some of the unique buildings we have available, because we can also place those throughout the city. We got like a little lobster crab bar. Let's see if we can find a good place for that. Probably by the water is a really good idea. Not down the street from another, that'll get noisy and citizens will be upset. Here we go, a nice lobster seafood house right on the water so people don't have to go, is that sanitary? Okay, now that we have the urban school, I'm gonna go ahead and district them. There we go. And this school is now going to operate here. Good. And this school will operate here. All right, let's take a look at the office situation. We do have these like California offices, and they're like smaller, so you can easily put them on like a coastline and have it fit in better. There's not really anybody staying in these places, which means that these hotels are eventually, you know, they're going to do poorly. So we got to start figuring out a way to attract citizens to the city. The best way you could probably do that is railroad, because we do have a railroad over here, so we can make a rail yard, start getting all that set up. Here we go, nothing, and like a small beach right next to little dropout we have right here. I think that's a great idea. In fact, I think I'm going to extend this one a little more. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some decorating done, and we'll wrap up here in a second. And there we go. I think we got some good designs. I can't wait to see what else we can plan in the future with this. So thank you guys for watching. I'm having really fun with this series, and I'm really enjoying it. So please like this video so more people can see it, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. We do all kinds of content here. I also stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, both here on YouTube and Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want other content by me, hit down below. You'll find in the description other links to my various social medias where I post up outside of YouTube, and also my streaming schedule, so you guys can keep up to date on that. But something big I want to talk about, I really want to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I know it's ambitious, but I really want to, so please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to help me out. I really want to complete this goal, and you guys have been doing a great job for that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will make a playlist for this so you guys can start watching all the episodes, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Oh, find the playlist link down below.